I've had some wins and some fails on the sewing front this week. So let's see what went well and what didn't. Hi there, I'm Christine the Gemini Stitcher and welcome to my sewing space. Yes, I have sewn things this week, but things went a little bit off kilter. I got sidetracked and I have sewn, but not necessarily everything that I was meant to. I'm wearing my Roe and Olo loungewear set. Absolutely love this set to bits. I only wish I had some more Ponte in a colour that I like in my stash and I would make another set. But watch this space. I might have to come off the wagon and order some fabric online. If you know somewhere that's got some really good quality viscose Pontes in, let me know. So what did I actually get sewn this week? Well, I've made 3 things, which is not bad by any stretch. Particularly the beginning of January, we're trying to get back into a routine, which I found really difficult. I don't know about you, and I've not even spent a whole day sewing yet. I've just been doing the odd couple of hours here and there, but I've chipped away at things. So let's have a look what I made this week in the sewing space. The first thing that I made is, and I'm actually very proud of it, is another one of the Roselin blouses from MIMOI. I did talk about it last week. It was in my plans for January, so this one's definitely a win. I used some Atelier Brunette fabric that was scraps, and I'm calling them scraps because they were both under a metre of fabric, so good scrap busting one this. So the top where the pleats are, I've used a darker fabric. They are both viscose twills that I got rummaging around in the remnant bins at Guthrie and Garnet last summer, so great to rescue these out of my stash and get them used. So the darker one's been done for the yoke on the front and the back. I've also used a dark colour for the collar and the placket down the front, and then on the sleeves. Now you'll eagle-eye among you will notice that this blouse has not got long sleeves. I've cropped them at 3/4 length because that was all the fabric I had, and then I've just put a little narrow cuff on the end to finish it in the dark fabric and hopefully bring it all together. So I'm not going to say any more about the Roselin blouse. I've banged that drum often enough, and I'm not going to try it on for you today. I'm going to save up through the month everything that I've made in my capsule, and then we'll do it as a separate vlog at the end of the month, if you don't mind. So the blouse is done. Absolutely love it. Let me know what you think. Has it worked? I'm hoping that the colours in the patterned floral fabric are matching with the dark brown fabric, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will work really well with the pearl trousers as well. So the next thing that I've made, well, it was a repair. This was actually made, I'm fessing up now, this was made in November and I wore it. I used this bag for the knitting and stitch, and I damaged where this lock mechanism is, and the metal piece on the flap pulled through the fabric. So I've used Steph's advice, thanks Steph. She said put a piece of the lime green pleather over the front and then reattach it, and it's a winner. It's worked and I actually prefer it better now. So this I haven't shown you before because I've broken it, but I'm showing it now, and it's classed as a make this week. Well, it was a repair this week, isn't it? It is the Brancaster bag from Charlie's Ant Bags. They have some gorgeous bags, and I've got another one that I want to make this week in some of the leftover fabrics from the pearl pants. Well, that's my plan anyway. But this one's the Brancaster. I've done it two-tone. Yes, you'll spot the fabric is the check fabric that I used for the Nula cape, and the bag was made to go with it. And going forward, what I'm going to try to do is, if I've got enough fabric left over when I've made a mini capsule, I'm going to make a matching bag to go with it to use some of the scraps up. So I've used an unusual locking mechanism on it, and it has two-tone, and then the back is plain. Now what I might do next time when I make another one is put a zip pocket in the back, because I like a zip pocket in the back for putting car keys and phones and things in, and then I'm not rooting around in the bag for them. But loving the Brancaster bag. And then the other make that I've made this week, I've got addicted to watching ABC Sewing, or is it ABC Designs, on YouTube. I'll put the link below. They do little mini sew-alongs, which is just, you know, the type with the twinkling music and nobody talking, and just watch the images. They work really well for me. Let me know if that's how you prefer your sew-alongs to be, and I'll adapt mine the same, instead of me gas bagging all the time. But I made this little purse. How cute is that? From cutting out to actually making it, it took me just over an hour. Really, really easy make. I've used some of the green pleather, and then for the flap, I used the very last scrap of the Nula cape fabric. So it matches the bag really, really well, doesn't it? Absolutely buzzing about that one. I've put a popper, metal popper, an anorak one, prim anorak popper on the front, and then inside I've used some of my quilting fabric scraps. And the beauty about this is it's got 4 handy compartments inside. So I've got one for my card, one for my coins, one for my notes, and a spare one as well for any emergency things. I tend to like to take chapstick out with me, so maybe I'll put little bits of makeup in that one. All in a very nice little purse. And I will pop the link for this tutorial below as well, in case you want to make some. And not only am I going to make a matching bag for every capsule, I'm going to make a matching purse as well. Get me, I will look a Bobby Dazzler, won't I, when I go out and about. So really, really pleased with this week's makes. So they were all great. Why am I saying I failed? Well, it's not a fail. I just did a bit of a switcheroo about what I was making this week, because my Scrappy project was meant to be the project bag from Country Cow Designs. I'm gonna shelve that for the time being, because I really do want to use scrap fabric to actually make the whole thing, and I haven't got enough, because I've been doing a lot of stretchy sewing. I've not got enough woven fabrics to do it justice at the moment, so that's on hold a little bit. The other thing I've still not done is my wrist pincushion from By Annie. All cut out, just never sewn together. I just got carried away with repairing my bag. To be fair, the Roselin blouse is a meaty sew, and that little purse is absolutely gorgeous. I love it, and I'm glad that I made that instead. And before I forget, the last thing that I sewed, which was a little bit of a fail, was I only got 4 of the leaf blocks embroidered for my tree of life. You know, when you have one of those days, I'd set the machine up as an embroidery machine, was planning on spending all day doing it, break the back of it, and just everything that could go wrong went wrong. Thread kept breaking, kept getting tangled up, I got nesting underneath. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, but I soldiered on and I got 4 of them done. So I'm giving myself a pat on the back for not giving up and ending up with none of them complete. So I've done 4 of those. I haven't done any of my memory quilt blocks, so need to get on with those, I think. What am I planning on doing this week in my sewing space? I'm going to be making the pearl pants from Swim Style Pearls. And I've altered the crotch by 1 inch, taken the length up by a country mile, I'm sure, because I'm vertically challenged. But that's the only other alteration I've made. The pearl pants, fingers crossed, are going to fit me this time, because last time I ended up with a hungry bum in the crotch area, which is not a good look. So fingers crossed I won't have to butcher them and put a waistband on them this time. So the pearl pants are my garments. So I want to carry on with my Tree of Life blocks and try and get more than 4 of them done this week, fingers crossed. So lots of embroidery happening this week, because I also want to start my memory quilt, which I'm using the sparkle quilt from Sweet Pea Designs, which is done on the embroidery machine. And I've got all the blocks cut out for the fabrics that I've used so far, and I want to get those made up this week, hopefully. Or some of them, because I've done a block for each fabric, which is, I've done a star for each fabric, which is 4 blocks in total. So we'll see how we get on with that one. And I did mention that I want to make a bag. I'm going to make another new bag, and it's another one from Charlie's Aunt. I will pop the link to Charlie's Aunt. They sell their patterns on Etsy. Oh my goodness, if you're into a little bit of vintage, go and take a look. They have some amazing bag and hat patterns as well. I'm not a hat girl, but the bags, oh. So I've chosen another bag. Image will be popping up here, and I'll pop the name of it down here, because I can't remember, I've not written it down. This again, I'm hoping will lend itself to scrap busting, because I can do it 2-tone. I'm going to use the brown fabric for the pearl pants to make this up in. I'm quite looking forward to making a new bag, and also a matching purse. Winner. Patterns. Because I've been really good working my way through my pattern stash of patterns that I've never used, I've allowed myself to buy 2 new patterns, and they're both from Itch to Stitch. The first one is the Quebrada skirt. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sure you'll correct me if I'm not. And absolutely loving this skirt. It's got all those panels all the way round, fitted at the waist, no waistband, which is a winner for me. And I think the concealed zip is in the back or the side, but hoping that because of all the panels, I'll be able to get a really good fit around my midriff, skim over the derriere and the thigh area, and then gracefully fall to 3/4 length. That's my plan anyway. The fabric that I want to make this up in is the mock suede fabric that I bought from the Knitting and Stitch in November. So this one has not stayed in my stash very long. It's a beautiful soft fabric. I got 2 meters of it, so plenty to make this skirt in. And if I've got some left, I'd love to make a matching waistcoat or even a little jacket, but I think I'm pushing it on the jacket front. So I've just grabbed my trusty iPad and then I can tell you the details about the quebrada. So the features are that it's an A-line silhouette, so not a pencil skirt, for a classic and flattering look. It's got gourds in the design with 5 panels in the front and 6 panels in the back, so lots of panels to put together. 2 length options, and it's got waist facings, not a waistband, for a streamlined look, and that makes it tummy friendly for me. A simple centre back zip, so it's not a concealed zip, just a centre back zip, and it's designed for medium woven fabrics. It says the skill level is a beginner plus, so if you've never made a skirt before but you've done a bit of sewing, give it a go. It comes in US sizes 00 up to 40, and I think Itch to Stitch Designs have a really good range in sizes in their patterns, and they, for the top parts as well, they do the different cup sizes, so no bust adjustments necessary with their patterns. The second pattern that I bought is another Itch to Stitch pattern, and it's the Zamora blouse. I've been lusting after this as well as the skirt we've just had a chat about for quite a few weeks. It's been on my wish list and I think they're going to go really well together. Now, the Zamora has got beautiful bow detail. It's a V-neck, not a high collar, and I think when you're a little bit busty, V-necks do work well for you, so I'm hoping this one is going to work really well for me. It's got tucks in the shoulders, so a little bit of relief for the old ladies there, and just a stunning blouse to go with the quebrada skirt and a little outfit. So what do they say about the Zamora? Also, as I've already mentioned, you get different cup sizes with Itch to Stitch, so they go from A to a double D cup sizing. Feminine V-neck with bow tie at the neck, a button down front, gathered sleeve cap and sleeve cuffs, intricate front released tucks, back pleat that adds comfort, 3/4 bracelet sleeve length options, and they say it's intermediate plus, so you need to have done a simple blouse, I would have thought, before you tackle this one. And again, size 00 to 20 for this one as well. So what fabric am I using for this blouse? It's one that I bought when we went to Festival of Quilt. It was from Roy's Material World, and look at this beautiful, stunning pattern. It's a green base with lots of brown tones, light green. It's even got a bit of burgundy in there. The fabric base is a viscose, so it's got lots of float to it, and I think it's going to look amazing in the Zamora blouse. So there we go. These are the 2 fabrics that I want to use to make my mini capsule. Obviously, I'm still working my way through my January mini capsule, so this is going to be February. And you know what it's like when you get a new pattern and you've got an idea in your head. I want to ditch the pearl pants and the fjord cardigan and crack on with these, but I'm going to be strong. I'm going to get those finished first in January, and then these are going to be part of my mini capsule for the month of February. Is anybody like me and got a little bit addicted to the Traitors again? If you don't know what I'm talking about and you're not in the UK, it's a kind of bit of a murder mystery kind of thing. You have faithfuls and traitors, and the traitors kill the faithfuls, and the faithfuls have to find the traitors, and there's a prize at the end of it, and they have tasks that they have to do to build their prize fund up. Absolutely brilliant concept. There was a lady in there called Fiona, who is 62, and Fiona was a little bit odd this week in her tactics. She's a traitor, and she outed another traitor who, this early in the game, I really don't know what her plan was. But when they interviewed her afterwards, she said she'd gone. Why had she gone on the traitors? And she said to give women of a certain age a voice. And that sort of struck a chord with me. I'm 60, as you probably all know, and I certainly don't feel like I don't have a voice. And I just thought that was quite an odd thing to say. Maybe it's just me. Let me know what you think. Do you feel in your 60s that nobody listens to you anymore, that you get ignored? Because I don't. And I'd like to know why you feel you get ignored, and maybe we can do something about it together to solve the problem. But yeah, it just got me thinking. It made me feel quite sad if that's how she feels and other knowledgeable ladies feel as well, because we've got a wealth of knowledge. I'm sharing my sewing with you guys, and not everybody who watches my channel sews, which makes me feel great. So let me know. Do you feel ignored? You're certainly not ignored by me, girls. On that note, I'm gonna go. I will see you all on Thursday, where we're going to talk about skirts. I don't have any skirts in my wardrobe. I know, shock horror, not one. It's something I don't gravitate towards. I feel like they chop me in half and make me look even shorter than I am already. And you'll know that from my February plans, I'm actually making my first skirt for donkey's years. So we're going to see how we get on with that. Thursday's vlog is all about 10 skirts that I found that I thought would work for the vertically challenged among us, and anybody else really, and how I'm going to try and incorporate some into my wardrobe in 2026. So if you're interested in that, I will see you on Thursday, and if not, I'll see you next Monday for more Makes and Plans shenanigans. Have an amazing sewing week, and I will see you all soon. Bye.